It's considered one of the toughest courses in the Army.
Right, let's go.
Fatigue, pain, stress, it is the ultimate test. Come join us for the exciting conclusion of Pathfinders. In the last episode of Truth, Duty, Valor, we joined the 20 young candidates of this year's Pathfinder course as they went through their initial training phases. The entire course is just over 12 weeks long, but seems an eternity to the candidates. The training and tests are intense, exhausting, and seemingly relentless. After just a few weeks, injuries and voluntary withdrawals have cut the group from 20 to only 8 remaining candidates. In week 7 of the training, during a night free-fall descent, 2 of the candidates' parachutes became entwined, seriously injuring them. This now reduced the course to just 6. It's now week 9, and the training phase is essentially over. For the remaining 3 weeks of the course, the Pathfinder candidates will be constantly assessed on their performance.
No, stay there, stay there.
As they prepare for what is unquestionably the most taxing and stressful phase, some of the remaining Pathfinder candidates talked about what has happened so far and what may possibly come in the future.
You think that was caused by the chills and not getting enough sleep?
Oh, wet, cold, you know what I mean? 1 minute you're freezing, next minute you're rocking with this friggin' all this weight, and now you're sweating to death. Then you stop, you freeze again. You're in the water, out of the water, so it's kind of hard not to get sick, I guess. And that, I mean, lack of food, water, the body just gets run down after a while. So we'll get back this weekend, sort everything out. Ready for next week.
I think it went rather well, being the first week. We still have lots of learning to do. And we had lots of time to do things, you know, which was good so we can learn more, but there was still a little bit of pressure because you're still learning. So, you know, it's going to get more intense as time goes on, because they expect you to know it. So overall, the week went rather well. Learned a lot.
I think next 3 weeks when you go.
Probably pretty intense. Yeah, I'd say. Yeah. It's only 3 weeks, so should be fun.
You have to have the physical stamina to withstand this kind of environment, but you also got to think through it, because we're not supermen, you know, we're just people. So you need to just think better, think faster than your enemy. You know, there's two sides. There's your hierarchy of needs that start kicking in, and all you're thinking about is rest and food and shelter. And then the other half is you just can't think through the fog. You know, you're trying to either accomplish your mission or pass your task, however you want to look at it, course or real world. And that you got to put self-imposed stress on you. If you can just relax and just think through it, you'll do a lot better. And then missions are going to get harder. The missions were very straightforward this week. We had lots of time to do them in, and now it's going to be, I'm sure they're going to expect a higher standard. We're going to have to throw more curveballs and get our brains behind exactly how we're going to accomplish everything.
What we did this week is we started off, we gave them a lot of time to plan a large operation, so a full platoon size operation. Then we broke them down into smaller teams we're going to see over the next few weeks will be the soldiers operating as the leadership in a larger patrol, i.e. An actual full-size Pathfinder patrol, not just a 6 or 8 man group. This will help us to assess their leadership with soldiers who may not have the same level of competence or knowledge or skill. So what they're going to do is they're going to go through a series of missions that'll have a full platoon complement so that we can really continue to test their leadership abilities. This week we focus more on the actual individual skills. Next week we're going to begin looking at more of the leadership aspect. And the best way to do that is create chaos for them as leaders with soldiers who may not be as skilled as they are, which is what you would face in a regular battalion.
When Truth, Duty, Valor returns, we join the Pathfinders on their first full tactical combat mission. Though it is the end of the day for most people, it is just the beginning for our young Pathfinder candidates. They are executing a helicopter water insertion, commonly referred to as helocasting. They're accompanied by a reconnaissance unit, which they will lead for the next 24 hours.
Slow swim to shore, though. A lot of these guys aren't used to being in the water. So, it takes a bit of time for everybody to get in, unfortunately. What's next? We'll set up an RV, and we'll get changed back into combat, shake in all of our gear, redistribute everything for the mission. Then we'll head out, make our way up to our ORV, and from there wait for our timings to hit. We'll send a couple guys up to recce the follow-on force objective. And we'll get ready to set up the drop zone with the follow-on force later on tonight. So, it could be a long night.
But you love it.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, we get paid to do this.
We're all on the beach. Some of the kit's a little messed up right now, but we don't need to cross load. So there's not a whole lot of reorganization we need to do right now. Nobody got hurt, and we got all the birds down in, so we're good to go. What we're gonna do now is get this relatively vulnerable point, as you can tell, because we're here changing in the middle of the bush. We just had helos come in. So if we don't hurry up, get the hell out of here, it's gonna be trouble. That was the fun part. That's just the means delivery. Now it gets tough. Shit hits the fan.
The Pathfinders and Recce unit head out on their mission, which is to guide a follow-on force of paratroopers onto an enemy objective in the early morning. These soldiers will be up for the next few days and constantly on the move. Captain Cayle Oberwarth is the Pathfinder head instructor. He talked a little about their tactics.
Seems to be doing fine. That was a bit of a hiccup in that first little obstacle crossing they had, but aside from that, it's pretty good. Their movement's quite good. They're reasonably quick, and they're pretty quiet, all things considered. So I guess what they've done now is they've gone into a security halt, and they're going to generally for the security halt. The whole intent there is to ensure that they're not being followed by anyone. So they stop, they're going all around defense, and they wait, and they listen to hear if anyone's following them. That's what they're doing right now. And what they'll probably end up doing at the end of that is they'll do a quick navigation check to just confirm where they are and where they need to go. And then they carry on. Okay, they've pretty much worked into the evening last night, did a little bit of forced rest, and carried on with the rest of their battle procedure, issuing of orders, and the actual commencement of the patrol. So they've pretty much been at it since 6 o'clock p.m. last night. So for them, it's going to become close to we'll say almost a a 36-hour work cycle, after which time they'll receive orders again, they'll go at it again. So what we try to do is, because we can't actually duplicate combat type stress by including a bit of sleep deprivation, we're actually able to, in some ways, mimic some of the stressors that the soldiers would be dealing with in a real combat situation.
It's going to be a very long night for our Pathfinders. When Truth, Duty, Valor returns, we join paratroopers from the Royal Canadian Regiment as they jump into the thick of battle. It's very early and cold this October morning. Paratroopers from the Royal Canadian Regiment are getting ready to jump as a follow-on force for this morning's Pathfinder mission. The Pathfinders will meet them on the ground, providing them with a secure landing zone, updated coordinates for their objective, and provide any new intelligence information on the enemy forces. Once the paratroopers are out the door, the Pathfinders help guide them using a signal on the ground to indicate both the landing zone and also wind direction. Once the link-up has been completed, the Pathfinders depart to await further instructions. It is misty this cool fall morning, and the paratroopers use the light fog to mask their advance on the enemy position. They move silently and quickly, trying hard not to be discovered. Initially, they conduct reconnaissance on the enemy, gauging their defensive positions and capabilities. Then they quietly and slowly move in for the attack. After the attack, we had a chance to talk to both friend and foe about whether the mission and assault was successful.
Well, you know, the covering fire took care of me pretty good there. I was trying to hide behind the vehicle, but of course, with their movement there, they were able to pick me off and stay pretty safe themselves, so pretty effective.
I think the attack went extremely well. We conducted the pair assault onto DZ Dives Crossing early this morning, linked up with the Patrol Pathfinder course, who led us to the position. They had eyes on the position. They let us know of any changes, and we carried out our attack from there, carried out our raid, and I think it went well. So, yeah, I guess the Pathfinders are a valuable resource to us because they're always in first. They establish our DZ, so the follow-on force can actually come in, jump into a DZ, and then carry out the raid on various objectives.
Did they do a good job this time?
Oh, for sure, yes.
We linked up with our very tired Pathfinders later that morning and talked to them about their recent mission.
How you feeling right now? Good. Tired? A little. It's been a long few days, but it's nothing yet. We just got started. Well, they adjusted their parachute hour, so they're the hour that they flew over the drop zone by 20 minutes. But other than that, they came in. We got them in the RV, and I didn't see their attack. because that's not my role. Is not to just to get them to their objective. Yeah, I had eyes on throughout the night, gave them a sketch and a good brief, and then they conducted their attack. And from what I heard, it was successful. And we're regrouping and, like I said, preparing for further operations.
Every day is a new day. But you'll get through, right? You'll see the end. I've never quite done it yet, so.
When Truth, Duty, Valor returns, the Pathfinders conduct their first ambush mission.
If you're doing a raid or ambush, any unique operation, you've already done.
A major difference in the Pathfinder course, compared to other international elite military training, is the lack of yelling and screaming by instructors at the candidates. This is done intentionally by the staff.
Well, essentially, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create some quiet professionals, which is something that is very characteristic of a lot of Canadian soldiers that are out there. The yelling and screaming that you see that is indicative of some American courses is sometimes rubs off on the candidates themselves, and I'm trying to take away some of that madness. Essentially, what we want to do is create quiet professionals, people who know their jobs, know what's right, know what to do, and the majority of, in all situations that they face, actually know how to deal with that in a composed manner. Yelling and screaming is sometimes effective in a all-out combat situation, but when you're dealing with small groups of professional soldiers, I find that quiet professionalism that is characteristic of some of our senior soldiers is what works best for a Pathfinder patrol. So consequently, what we've tried to do is have the DS represent that so that the candidates can then in turn mimic it. A lot of people say that panic is contagious, so is calm. So if we teach them how to be calm, regardless of the chaos that they are facing, I think you'll find that they make better decisions, and that's what we're looking for.
It has now been 36 hours since the Pathfinders helped coordinate a paratrooper attack on an enemy position. Since then, the Pathfinders have been constantly on the move behind simulated enemy lines, getting little or no sleep. During the night, they received new orders to conduct a hit-and-run ambush in the early morning. We joined them as they awaited their target.
We've been sitting here for almost 2 hours. We got maybe an hour's sleep in the last 24. What we're set up for here right now, we're set up for an ambush. We got intelligence sources saying that the enemy's going to be here at a certain time to do a resupply. So what happens here, we got guys off to our flanks. They're set up for early morning and cut-off groups. And we're here forming an assault line so we could put max fire down on the enemy when they stopped and stop them from doing their conducting the resupply.
After the successful completion of the ambush, the Pathfinders must quickly depart the area in order to avoid incoming artillery and searching enemy forces. Speed is critical to their survival. They cover several kilometers of heavy forested terrain to meet their rendezvous point for their extraction helicopters. The enemy could be anywhere, and they must watch every step.
Well, now they're just extracting to their landing zone, and they just want to make sure they use stealth on their movement because, as you see, prominent choke-off points that have been set up. We've got, they're pretty much funneled One option is to swim, which is a really good option. However, right now, they've got a lot of enemy patrols by assault boats, so I think they're gonna pretty much get funneled into this area, come through, try to cross tactically, and then once they get through there, if they can, then they're gonna try to make their way back up to the extraction point to the south. So right now, the guy's been assessed to the stage he had to. What he's got to do now is just carry on with getting his guys extracted quickest possible means.
Not bad. We haven't been compromised yet since we pulled off the objective, but it's going slow the last little bit. We have a major choke point coming up. We have to cross this bridge. It's the only bridge in the area that we can cross. So it's pretty obvious we're going to cross there. It's just a matter of doing it properly.
Though tired, the Pathfinders press on through the choke point, realizing an ambush may be waiting for them.
I need Corey back here to help out.
Walking wounded?
He's walking wounded.
Come up, boys.
Okay, we'll drag him. This rucksack,
Come on, you can't walk.
I got security. You guys drag him. Jack, keep moving. We're leaving the ruck. Go.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go.
Say it again. Let's go. Hurry up. Get off the road. You got Artie coming down. You gotta get out of here. You'll get more casualties. Hurry up.
Go back over there. Hey, go that way. You gotta get off the road. Into cover.
We're pinned. We gotta clear this area, man.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
That's right.
Okay, let's go.
What's up, Sully?
When Truth, Duty, Valor returns, the Pathfinders are pushed to their limits. The Pathfinder candidates are behind enemy lines, trying to get to their rendezvous point for helicopter extraction. While crossing a culvert, they were struck by artillery fire. Sully was injured, and the group has been struggling to help him get out of the area.
This is the part where people start reacting differently under stress. The whole idea here is obviously throw different types of scenarios at them. That way they can deal with, in this case, casualties, because they crossed an obvious feature instead of using the water or using the contours around the side.
Watch yourself, Sully.
Carry on, hurry up.
Hey, hold on, I got it. Corey, container belt.
Here first.
After dressing Sully's wounds, Chad has the difficult task of carrying him up the steep slopes and then through the forest.
What are you doing dragging yourself around, man? You alright? You okay? I'll get you home to mom, buddy. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Corey, get up here and help out on the head.
Oh, of course that happened. Yeah. If not, hold on, we'll look you straight up. 1, 2, 3.
His head's not on at the back here.
Ready?
The Pathfinders make an improvised stretcher from their poncho, but encounter a few problems with their plan.
I don't know how this is gonna work. Just rolling it. Okay. How about it, boys?
Oh, it's rolling.
Yeah. I spun it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta spin over top.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it then. Tight, nice and tight. Like a tiger.
Okay, Corey.
All right.
Their reaction's slow, just because it's a shock. Not used to. They train and they've been through the learning phase. Now they're trying to put all their skill sets into play, and you can see right off the bat there's a bit of confusion, bit of stress, bit of fatigue, all combined together becomes chaotic. So they're adapting now. I think they've come up with a minor plan that'll work. You just got to dig down deep and carry on.
After only a few hundred meters, the Pathfinders realize the stretcher is not going to work. So they try carrying him as a group of 3. But that doesn't work well either. The forest is just too thick.
Jump up on.
1, 2, 3.
Easy. Get over that webbing. Get over that fucking webbing. Holy shit, buds.
Bring forward onto his back. Bring forward.
Lean forward nice and close to him, so you might hug him.
Ah, your bandit is digging into my back. We'll move it right now. Yeah, it's a lot easier to carry him like this than I've seen. Okay, buds. Someone's got my rock.
Yeah,
Rifle.
Okay. It's actually pretty solid. Okay, steady. His head too.
There are frequent stops as the rough terrain and their fatigue slows them down. The time is running out, especially for Sully.
You be all right, Sully? You're gonna be all right.
Right now, they're just assessing their casualty. Get a femoral injury right now, his femur. So they're just assessing for shock. They're figuring about 20 minutes till kicks the bucket. So they're just going through their drills, providing security. They're going to carry on, trying to push forward to the link-up site for the LZ. As soon as they stabilize casualty, they're going to have to come up with an extraction method. They only got 20 minutes. Time looks unrealistic. When you look at the distance, somehow they're going to have to adapt, come up with a plan.
They take turns carrying Sully while Kris carries his rucksack plus Sully's. Each soldier is carrying a rucksack that weighs in excess of 100 pounds, plus the weight of the weapons. It is this drive to succeed, despite the hardship and exhaustion, that instructors want to see in the Pathfinder candidates. Despite their best efforts, time has run out for Sully.
Well, casualty, obviously, due to his injury, under shock, stress, he passed away, he's done. So just basically going through the drills, grab his essentials, bury him, mark it, 10-figure grid, and come back later. Right now, they got to carry on with the extraction. So right now, patrol commander's just trailing up the rear with the equipment, making sure it's all rebound, get comms with higher, give them a good sit rep, and then they're going to carry on right straight to their extraction zone.
The Pathfinders simulate the burying of Sully's body. Then they carry on to meet their helicopters for extraction. Sully miraculously came back from the dead to give us his take on what happened.
I got hit with shrapnel from artillery fire in my right leg. The rest of the patrol pulled me off into some below ground, put a tourniquet on it. At first to stop the major bleeding, and then they dragged me on so I could treat it further. They tried improvised stretcher, numerous carry techniques, until we found one that worked well. And now I've gone into shock and am dead.
How do you feel about what just happened?
I don't feel very good about it.
The Pathfinders quickly covered the distance to their rendezvous with the helicopters, and Sully was allowed to rejoin the group. While they waited for the choppers, some of the Pathfinders told us how the last few hours went.
Sounds rough.
The fact you had an injured person, do you think there's any other options that could have been exercised for that?
In reality, perhaps we probably would have called in a different DZ, extracted him right away, a different DZ. Other than that, I mean, he had life-threatening injuries. Sometimes there's not too much you can do about it.
Thank God that's over with. Yeah, that was definitely shitty. Definitely.
What's been the hardest part this past week?
The hardest part this past week? I got nothing to say about that.
They have all survived another grueling week of training and assessment. The Pathfinders will now be flown back to Trenton and given the weekend to sleep and prepare their gear. Their next mission is out on the East Coast, and it should be their ultimate test of wills. Stay tuned to Truth, Duty, Valor. HMCS Athabaskan is one of the Navy's 4 task group command ships. Very capable of multi-role operations, she's the perfect platform for supporting joint missions, such as a simulated non-combatant evacuation operation. The Pathfinders spend the first few days on board the ship getting their sea legs, and also conducting both boat and swimming drills in the frigid waters of the North Atlantic.
I hate this
After a refreshing swim, the candidates head back to the ship to begin preparations for their last mission.
Holy yeah, my sentiments exactly.
The Pathfinder's mission is to provide support to a special forces unit that is going ashore to escort Canadian citizens out of a dangerous and deteriorating political situation in an overseas country. This will include planning and execution of a waterborne insertion ashore via assault boats and possible combat with rebel forces. The planning and preparation for the mission is detailed and thorough. Each of the candidates has different responsibilities during this mission, and they are required to brief both their comrades and also the Special Force Unit about every minute detail. It is now 04:30. Time for the soldiers to get in the assault boats and make their way ashore toward their objectives. The Atlantic Ocean is cold and rolling as the Pathfinders and the Special Forces Unit make their way through the darkness toward shore. Since this is one of the last scenarios of the training, the Pathfinders are expecting some tricks and surprises from the instructors, and they weren't disappointed.
For this mission, I was tasked as the patrol commander, and the situation before the orders were given was the enemy forces. The situation deteriorated with our enemy forces, and they have taken a Canadian embassy worker hostage. And the role of the Pathfinders and Pathfinder capabilities dovetailed well into this situation, where classic Pathfinder mission was to set up a beachhead for a follow-on force. And in this case, my patrol was tasked to set up a beachhead for special forces or a follow-on force that were capable of dealing with the hostage situation. So I was tasked not only to set up the beachhead, but also to move forward and recce the objective for this SF team, where I delineated the objective, got all the information I could, and handed off the objective to them. And then we supported them in their direct action, and recovering the hostage.
Some soldiers act as rebel forces that are hiding a Canadian hostage in the ruins of an old building. The mission has now changed for the Pathfinders from a simple beach insertion to supporting special forces as they fight to liberate the Canadian civilian. While helicopters from HMCS Athabascan buzz above carrying out surveillance, the Pathfinders and Special Forces Unit get into position.
Back up. Don't see it.
Just when the Pathfinders thought that everything was done and they could head back to the ship, the instructors threw them a curveball.
It turned also into a combat search and rescue mission because the Sea King that was in support of our mission was shot down. So after we retrieved the hostage, we had to also move to another location en route to my extraction beachhead and retrieve the Sea King crew, which we did, and we were successful and made it down to the beachhead.
The Pathfinders rescue the surviving Sea King crew and quickly get them to safety.
Grab this chest rough.
They're all done. The fast and furious pace of the last few weeks is finally at an end. Though the mission was successful, the instructors have decided that one of the Pathfinder candidates was not meeting standards, and consequently, he was taken off the course. Now, there are just 5 candidates left. When Truth, Duty, Valor returns, we meet some of the graduating Pathfinders and hear what they have to say about their 12-week ordeal. They made it. The past 12 weeks have been the toughest and probably most grueling training most of these young soldiers have ever encountered.
I think anybody who has, a desire to better themselves or whatever should definitely come on this course. I mean, it's challenging. It's see how far you can push yourself.
You surprised yourself?
Yeah, I did. I mean, like I say, you come here not knowing what to expect. I mean, we started with a fairly large group, and I mean, we finished with such a small group. You wonder, sort of, are you going to be part of that percent that it doesn't make it? And when you do, I mean, it's just an awesome, it's an awesome feeling. I mean, you accomplish something that not a lot of people can. Towards the end, you get pretty dragged out, pretty tired. You're hungry, you're cold and wet all the time. You just can't wait for it to get over. But at the same time, you gotta keep focused on what's going on.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Why?
Just the amount of different training we got to do with the free fall, on the Athabascan, on the ocean, boats, everything. It's everything I joined the Army for, and we actually got to do it all at once, so it's great. I'd promote this course to anybody because just the training you get to do alone, besides the skills and confidence you gain, is unbelievable. It's all crammed into 3 months, so it's great. I know that I have a lot more confidence now and some new skills, and that's not going to hurt my career, obviously.
I thought the course was outstanding. It was very challenging, and it was run really well, and I'm happy with it overall. High point was really just learning everything about how to be a Pathfinder, everything. And low point was obviously carrying all that kit and breaking my wrist and having to suffer through that.
Personally, I think I did well for myself. I mean, I worked hard. I don't know. There's no comparison. We all have different experiences, so I don't think we're compared to each other because we all have a different background. So I wouldn't have any idea how, if that was your question. But myself, I think I worked pretty hard to catch on to a lot of the subjects they were teaching us. But I wasn't totally happy with my performance in all areas, especially some of the patrols that I did that were new to me. I think I could have done them a lot better. Accomplish them if I had a second chance for some of those. Everybody, hindsight's 20/20. Yeah. The high point is finishing, with a feeling of accomplishment and having a real broad sense of new knowledge. You know what I mean? I really think I learned a lot. The low point, well, I think the low point is not being able to graduate with some of the guys or a larger group of soldiers.
Go home and soak my feet.
Many believe the Pathfinder course is tougher than the famed U.S. Ranger training. In fact, it does combine the best from the U.S. Ranger and British SAS courses. Bottom line, Canada has just graduated another small but fully qualified group of top-notch soldiers, ready to go anywhere and face any situation. As Pathfinders are fond of saying, when only the best will do.